Throughout history, empires have used fear as a tool of control, shaping the destinies of entire civilizations through intimidation and violence. From the earliest days of organized warfare, rulers understood that terror could be as effective as the sword in keeping their subjects in line, but none wielded it quite like the Assyrians, whose reputation for cruelty echoed across the ancient world and left a mark that endures to this day. For nearly 3 centuries, they ruled the Near East with unmatched brutality, forging an empire that stretched from the Mediterranean to the mountains of Iran. Their cities like Nineveh and Ashur became symbols of both power and dread. Their military was legendary, feared for its discipline and innovation, but their true weapon was psychological terror, a force that reached far beyond the battlefield. At the center of this reign of fear was impalement, a punishment so gruesome it became their signature, a method designed not just to kill, but to horrify and subdue. Impalement wasn't just execution, it was a public warning, a spectacle staged before crowds to send a chilling message: defy Assyria, and this is your fate. The suffering was drawn out, the agony visible to all. The Assyrians documented their cruelty with pride, carving scenes of impalement onto palace walls as both record and threat. These images were not hidden. They were meant to be seen by all who entered the king's domain. These images, rows of victims on stakes, were propaganda, meant to intimidate both subjects and enemies. The message was unmistakable. Mercy was not the Assyrian way. The empire was a patchwork of conquered peoples, always on the brink of rebellion. Fear was the glue that held this vast and diverse realm together, as loyalty was often forced rather than freely given. To keep order, the Assyrians chose terror over mercy, believing that only the harshest punishments could prevent uprisings and maintain their dominance. Impalement was reserved for those who challenged the king or the god Ashur, a fate worse than death in battle. It was a punishment for rebels, traitors, and anyone who dared to question Assyrian authority. Their kings boasted of these acts, making sure everyone knew the cost of defiance. Royal inscriptions and monuments celebrated these brutal victories, turning terror into a tool of statecraft. The message was clear: resistance would be met with unimaginable suffering. The stories of Assyrian punishment spread far and wide, discouraging revolt before it could even begin. This policy of fear was no accident. It was the backbone of Assyrian rule, carefully crafted and ruthlessly enforced by generations of kings who saw terror as the surest path to stability. The legacy of impalement still haunts the memory of ancient empires, a chilling reminder of how power, when wielded without mercy, can leave scars that last for millennia. The Assyrian method of impalement was designed for maximum suffering and spectacle. It was not just a punishment